Enter player 1.
Spoilers it is. If someone wanders into an Infinity War review in 2025 without having seen the movie, that's not our fault. That's natural selection via pop culture osmosis. Avengers Infinity War, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Snap. Let's not pretend this is a movie. Let's call it what it really is. A 2.5-hour exercise in Marvel Studios flexing its universe-building muscles like Thanos flexes his disturbingly large chin. Avengers Infinity War isn't a film. It's an event, a cultural moment, a grand ambitious crossover of capes, egos and infinity-coloured McGuffins. And somehow, it works. Mostly. This was Marvel's payoff for 10 years of cinematic foreplay, 18 films of origin stories, sequels, and increasingly implausible reasons for Tony Stark not to be arrested. And then came Infinity War, barreling through the cosmos like Thor with a new axe and absolutely no chill. Let's dive in. Act 1, The Purple Problem. At the centre of this superpowered opera is Thanos, the big bad teased in post-credit scenes since 2012. Played with unexpected pathos and unsettling calm by Josh Brolin, Thanos is less cackling cartoon villain and more nihilist TED Talk speaker. He's the ultimate utilitarian, not because he wants to, but because he must, wielding death not for pleasure, but for balance, like your corporate overlords only with a sparkly glove and a stronger jawline. Thanos' goal is simple: collect all 6 Infinity Stones and wipe out half of life in the universe with a literal snap of his fingers. It's minimalist genocide, really. Efficient, brutal, and given the state of galactic overpopulation, not entirely irrational. Infinity War does something astonishing here. It makes Thanos the protagonist, the heroes reactive, disjointed, playing defense. But Thanos, he has a plan, conviction, and a disturbingly well-thought-out PowerPoint presentation of doom. It's his movie, and honestly, he carries it. Act 2, too many capes, not enough time. There are roughly 1,000 characters in this movie, and I'm not exaggerating. There are entire movies worth of characters who get less screen time than the Hulk gets rage. Wait, actually, Hulk gets no rage. That's part of the plot. Hulk refuses to come out. The big green monster has performance anxiety, and Bruce Banner is left to pilot the Hulkbuster like a nerd in his older brother's clothes. The film wisely splits its cast into manageable pods. Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man go on a field trip to space and form Team Goatee. Their dynamic is peak Marvel, fast-talking, quippy, and dangerously reliant on Peter Parker's pop culture references to distract from the trauma. Thor, fresh from his off-screen haircut and on-screen breakdown, gets paired with Rocket Raccoon and Groot for a galactic weapon-forging side quest. This team-up should not work. It absolutely does. The chemistry between a Norse god and a talking rodent is inexplicably pure gold. Captain America, Black Widow, Falcon, and Scarlet Witch operate out of Wakanda like a freelance team of morally upright fugitives. They exist mostly to brood punch things and remind us that Steve Rogers' beard deserves its own franchise. And Vision and Wanda? Ah yes, the tragic couple whose entire arc boils down to, we love each other but also I need to kill you. Classic rom-com setup, really. The juggling act is impressive. The film moves at breakneck speed, trusting the audience to fill in gaps with prior knowledge. If you've missed a few Marvel films, tough luck. This movie assumes you're fluent in superhero soap operas. The stones, a glowing metaphor for plot advancement. Each Infinity Stone is introduced, reintroduced, or pulled out of someone's forehead with all the subtlety of dental surgery. They're color-coded for your convenience. Space Stone, blue, housed in the Tesseract. Loki has it. For about 5 minutes. Then he doesn't. Ever again. Mind Stone, yellow, lodged in Vision's head like a decorative thumbtack. Reality Stone, red, used by Thanos to troll the Guardians and rewrite physics like it's fan fiction. Power Stone, purple, already taken, off-screen. Sorry, Novacore. You died as you lived, ignored by the main plot. Time Stone, green, protected by Doctor Strange, who barters with it like a desperate wizard on Craigslist. Soul Stone, orange, the emotional grenade, hidden on a planet nobody knew existed, guarded by a floating ghost Nazi. To get it, you must trade a soul for a soul. Enter Gamora. Exit Gamora. Oof, the acquisition of each stone marks another beat in Thanos' arc, and as the glove fills, so does the dread. The final fight. Wakanda forever, until they're not. The climax in Wakanda is a visual spectacle of chaos and carnage. It's also where Marvel pulls out every crowd-pleasing moment they can fit. Thor arrives via Bifrost like a lightning-drenched demigod. Cap and Black Panther sprint ahead of the crowd like two Olympic athletes on performance-enhancing vibranium. Bruce Banner flails inside a Hulkbuster suit like a toddler in a washing machine. And Wanda finally decides to join the battle because reasons. It's not like the fate of the universe was at stake earlier. Meanwhile, in space, Team Goatee attempts to remove the gauntlet from Thanos' hand with teamwork, telekinesis, and the power of emotional compromise. Unfortunately, Peter Quill, king of self-sabotage, ruins everything by punching Thanos in the face when he learns about Gamora's fate. Well done, Star-Lord, the universe was this close, and you ruined it. 50% less cast, 50% more tears, and then it happens. Thanos wins. With all 6 stones, he snaps his fingers, not with malice but with calm resolve, and half the universe dissolves into ash. This is where the film stops being a Marvel movie and starts being a funeral. We watch beloved characters vanish. Bucky, T'Challa, Groot, Wanda, Sam, even Nick Fury, pager in hand, middle finger implied. But the most devastating? Peter Parker. His desperate Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good, is cinema's equivalent of kicking the audience in the soul. Tom Holland sells it with raw panic, and Tony's silence says everything. Marvel killed the heart of its universe on screen and did so without ceremony. No swelling music, no final monologues, just silence, dust, and a mad god watching a sunrise. The aftermath, a perfectly balanced conclusion. Thanos retires to his space farm having achieved his goal. He smiles, the film ends. There are no triumphant horns, no swelling fanfare, just the sound of fans screaming in theatres worldwide, trying to bargain with the 5 stages of cinematic grief. Infinity War doesn't wrap up, it stops, and that's what makes it brilliant. It punishes the audience for complacency. It defies the Marvel formula by letting evil win, not because of overwhelming power, but because of fractured heroes, poor timing, and human error. Final thoughts. The Empire Strikes Back of Marvel, Tomru. Is Infinity War perfect? Of course not. It's overloaded, relentless, and structurally more chaotic than Loki at a family reunion. But what it is bold, unapologetically ambitious. It dares to treat its villain as a philosopher king instead of a punching bag. It dares to end on a downbeat. And it dares to trust its audience to handle despair without immediate relief. This wasn't just a crossover, it was a culmination. And it succeeded because Marvel had the audacity to play the long game and the confidence to stick the landing, even if the landing crushed half the cast. So yes, Infinity War deserves the praise, and Thanos deserves the snap. He earned it, even if it meant turning Spider-Man into trauma confetti. Rating, 9.5 out of 10. Knocked half a point off because Thanos didn't remove Hawkeye from existence when he had the chance.